Hello, folks. Welcome once again to my monthly tarot session. So this particular reading will be for the month of November, and it's beautiful outside. It's the fall colors are just beginning to kind of dwindle down. It's still beautiful. It's been rainy over here. I really like the fall, and not to really distract you too much from this particular monthly reading, but somehow I felt like saying this is that the fall colors really shows how beautiful the nature can be, even when it's about to wither away, even when it's about to shed its leaf and temporarily die. So it just shows us, every fall I feel the same thing. It's like nature's way of showing us that our life should be so beautiful that even in the dying moments, we should be able to spread joy and beauty all around, right? So anyway, I don't know why I thought of saying this. Maybe this universe's way of bringing out something, communicating something to you guys. Again, this is a reading for the month of November 2021, and hopefully this reading will also shed some light on how things are going to turn out, what you need to take care of as you heading into the new year, the 2022. Hopefully, obviously the last 2 years has been very full of turmoil for a lot of us in terms of worldly events, the pandemic. Hope all that as you are heading into the new year, hope all that kind of comes to an end, and we 2022 really brings some good news for all of us. So as usual, you have 4 good groups in front of you. This will be group number 1, this is group number 2, group number 3, and group number 4. For group number 1, we have this beautiful purple amethyst crystal. For group number 2, we have this again beautiful clear quartz. Group number 3, a very fancy unakite. It's really a rock rather than a mineral. And then group number 4, also a very cute looking Dalmatian jasper. Exactly looks like a Dalmatian. I think that's where the name comes from, Dalmatian jasper. So you have again group number 1, purple amethyst, group number 2, clear quartz, group number 3, unakite crystal, and group number 4, Dalmatian jasper. As usual, I'm going to keep these groups in front of you for about a minute or so after I'm done with my introduction, and I'm going to meet you in your respective group. The timestamps will be given in the description box below. And just to announce this, I do offer personal readings, and the link for that and the links to get in touch with me through my email and through my Facebook and Instagram page are also given in the description box below. So I'll see you in your respective group, and the groups will be in front of you for about a minute or so. Hey, group number 1, welcome to your monthly reading. For those of you who have chosen this purple amethyst, we'll see what's going on for you in the month of November. So another year is almost coming to a close. Let's see what this is also in a way, it's also in a way a kind of gateway to the next year. So hopefully the November reading is also going to bring out something that's going to open up new possibilities and new opportunities for you in 2022, right? And I think group number 1, and clearly over here the message is leave behind. Right? Whatever has happened, whatever you cannot change, whatever you have no control anymore. It could be any sort of lingering emotions. It could be any sort of lingering incidents, lingering some after effects of some failures. Right? Whatever has happened in the month of November, you really need to leave them behind and move on. And so clearly, the first card we start with is the death card, and again, death is also equivalent to rebirth, right? Death is in a way synonymous with rebirth, right? Because out of darkness, new light is emerging, right? So, I always say this, but because generally whenever we hear about death, we get scared, right? But remember, in this world, death and rebirth, they are going hand in hand. And you cannot have rebirth without death first happening. Without something else first dying and making way, the new one, the new dreams, the new aspirations, the new hope for the future cannot come in its place. Right? So in your case, for the month of November, it's clearly the messages. I see that you are trying to manifest something. You may have certain dreams, you may have certain aspirations, you may have certain goals in front of you, and you may have put them on the back burner, or you may have been kind of dilly-dallying with those. Or you may have been temporarily let down by, again, some past memories, some past failures, some happenings that may not have turned out the way you would have hoped for. And that has temporarily, that may have set you back, that may have... Also, I feel like, for example, if you are trying to do too many things at once, right, there could be, it's like, it's a cloudy vision. So, for example, if you look at this 5 of Stars card, right? It talks about, so 5 of Stars in a traditional tarot deck will be 5 of Wands, which really talks about conflict. And if you look at this, it almost seems like you have that bright moon over here that talks about that inspiration, but then also there's too many things going on in the foreground, right? And again, so it could be. Either you are trying too many different ways and you are not sure of what exact thing that you need to do to be able to manifest your goal, or it could be like you have too many different ideas and too many different projects that you have taken on at the same time, but you don't have sufficient energy to devote for every project, or you don't know how to really multitask and you have taken on too many things. Then it's a typical case of taking on more than you can chew, taking on more than you can handle. So that overall lack of clarity, that overall lack of vision, I get that sense, and I also get the strong sense that lack of purpose a little bit, a lack of that procrastination, or maybe dilly-dallying, or maybe not finding that right attitude, the motivation, or the right path forward, right? Clearly, what's interesting over here is, this rest and rejuvenation card coming out reversed, right? Because rest and rejuvenation, generally, if you would expect that to come out upright, saying that, you need to rest, you need to let yourself heal, but then that coming out reversed, and then you have also the wheel coming out reversed, and you also have the Ace of Sword coming out reversed. So these 3 coming out reversed means, is first of all lack of clarity, second of all, lack of enough movement, enough progression in wherever you are, whatever you have been trying to do. There's been a certain sense of stagnancy, there's a certain sense of lack of movement. It's like, and that's why the tarot is saying you may have taken enough rest, or in other words, you may have dilly-dallied enough, you may have procrastinated enough, you may have now it is really, the November is really the time for action. Time for opening up yourself. Right? So look for fairies. So what is look for fairies? Look for fairies is obviously developing that your mind, being open to new ideas, developing that childlike innocence in you, where a child can be molded in different ways. A child is very innocent. A child is open to anything and everything. Right? So you almost becoming like a child, where you're open to new possibilities, where you're open to new ideas, where you're open to different suggestions. Maybe if your friends or family members or your other well-wishers, if they have been trying to point out certain way, then not close yourself to any possibilities. Right? So be open, and clearly you have the magician card over here upright. So clearly, it's like you have possibilities in you, you have talents in you, you have been trying to manifest something, but it's certainly not been working out, or at least it's not been working out to the extent you would have hoped for. Right? So stop lingering in the past. It's time for you to rebirth, to take a rebirth. Right? Close whatever has happened in the past. If it has been some failure, some emotional issues, remember, dwelling too much in the past is not really helpful. It doesn't really serve your present. It's not going to serve your future. What's important for you is to move ahead, move it behind, leave it behind, right? And gather up the energy, gather up the strength again, prioritize your goals, right? See, if open yourself up to new suggestions and new possibilities, be receptive to ideas, right? Don't close on them, and develop that clarity. Again, I pull up this card, develop that clarity. This also could be, I see multiple stars over here. Right? So each star is indicative of some ideas, some inspiration. So it also could be, you don't have any dot of inspiration. And clearly, this one with the magician card. So you may be someone who doesn't have any dot of ideas, inspirations, right? Who's probably too ready to go. And sometimes, this is the problem, because sometimes too many ideas can also be a problem, can become a bottleneck, unless you know how to prioritize your ideas, unless you know how to do multitasking, unless you are very good in multitasking. I'm sorry, there's some work going on in my house, and you'll probably notice some background noise occasionally, and I ask you really for your forgiveness for that. So anyway, so going back to the reading, so unless you have some way to prioritize, unless you're very good in multitasking, what you have to do is you have to prioritize. You have to focus on one particular idea, on one particular thing, and then focus all your energy, all your effort on that, and then move on to the next one. Or else, again, if you're very good in multitasking, you can try to execute all of them, but then you have to make sure that you're balancing everything in a proper way. Right? So clearly over here the message is leave past behind, no more procrastination, no more dilly-dallying. This is the time for action. Open up to new possibilities, develop the inner clarity, right? Again, this go to the sea as well as the look for fairies. They both talk about opening up. Be more wiser, open up. Right. Maybe it could also be that you're keeping a closed mind. You are not opening yourself up to new ideas, new suggestions. Maybe what you're thinking or what you feel like you have that attitude that whatever I am thinking of is the best one. I'm not going to take anyone. I'm not going to pay heed to anyone else's ideas. Right? So there's also a strong message over here is that open up to other ideas. If you're working in a team environment, maybe other people have certain positive suggestions that's going to help you take the project forward. Open up to those ideas, right? Develop that broader vision. So I think in November, group number 1, you have to really work on these things, the few key things that I laid out on the table over here. And definitely, again, once again, there's great possibility for you, because if you remember, I see 2 infinity symbols over here. One over here, infinity, and then the death card also shows infinity. So clearly the possibilities are endless, and whatever temporary setback, whatever that lack of progress that you may be facing is probably largely the result of your own thought process, the result of your own inaction, the result of your own lack of clarity. Once you can get over that, I see the possibilities are endless. So let this really, what you do in November, I hope that's going to pave for greater possibilities, not only in the coming month, but also in the coming year. Right? So having said that, I take your leave for now, group number 1. Hope this resonates with you. Bye. Hey, group 2, welcome to your monthly reading for the month of November. And again, I feel like this particular reading is not only applicable for the month of November, but it's also going to hopefully shed some light on what you need to do to really welcome the new year as you go into the new year, right? So what you do right now in the month of November will probably also have some bearing in how it's all going to turn out in the coming year. So having said that, let's jump onto this. But before I do that, just one warning. There is some work going on in my house, unfortunately, today. So you may notice some occasional background noise, and I'm sorry for that. Hopefully that's not going to be too much of a hindrance for this overall reading. So having said that, let's do the card reveal first. Okay, we have the Angel of Balance reversed. We have the Sound Healing reversed. Okay. We have 6 of Stars or 6 of Wands reversed. Okay, lot of turbulence. King of Wands reversed. Okay, lot of turbulence, lot of anxiety. Time for nap. Initiation, the beginning. It's also the Fool's card. Right. You have the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Stars. You also have the Ace of Cups reversed. And you also have, the Hangman reversed. Okay. Okay, so lot of turbulence, group number 2. In fact, when I was doing your shuffle, I could sense that there's a lot of turbulent energy. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of negative. This lack of balance happening, and I think your choice of this clear quartz also indicates that. So, I think in November, what's most needed in your life is probably summarized by this particular card. This is one of the key things that you need to really focus on in the month of November. Is that time for nap, or the time for rest, time for healing. I think this particular group has a lot of frazzled nerves. You may have either been on an overdrive of some sort. You may have been maybe trying to put in too much of effort without really getting the requisite the requisite dividend, the requisite return. Or your effort may have been in a way misguided or misdirected so far. Or it could be also, you are, there was no effort at all. There was no inspiration. There was no drive at all. And that's because too much of negative energies may have overwhelmed you, maybe really sapping up all your life juices, right? And this Angel of Balance reversed, Sound Healing reversed, 6 of Star or 6 of Wand reversed, King of Wand reversed. This entire row has come out reversed. Then you also have the Ace of Cups reversed. So I sense that really things have not been going in your favor at all. Now, I don't know how long it has been persisting. It has been like that, right? I sense that it has been persisting for some time as you head on to November, right? Now, again, what really the first thing that you should really focus on is that rest and rejuvenate, right? It's really time for you to, first of all, get rid of all that negative energy, those anxieties, that feeling overworked, again, what I was saying before, that overall a turbulent phase, right? So you need to really let yourself heal first, and then if you see the Fool's card, it is time for you. So in a way, the Fool's card and the Hanged Man coming out reverse, I would say this one card coming out reversed in your case is good, right? So the Fool's card and the Hanged Man coming out reversed, it definitely talks about let bygones be bygones and making a fresh start, right? Taking a new plunge. I feel somewhere over here, some things must have happened, or some combination of things must have happened in your life that has really made you, lose focus of your goal, and made you, really set you off track. So it is time for you to kind of, return to your, return to your life journey again, and really take up where you had left off, or maybe start progressing on that life path once more. And again, now this could have been caused by different things. It's a general reading, so I cannot be too specific, but I do sense that there should be, it could be some emotional issues, it could be, some near and dear ones departing, it could be some failure in your personal life, some domestic discord, some maybe betrayal in the relationship front. It could be also, some failure on the work front, right? But what I feel like over here is overall that energy, that misguided energy, really, who is, and again, if you remember what I said at the very beginning, you may be really trying hard. So in some of your cases, you may not have, you may have stopped trying, right? Because you are too overwhelmed by emotions, you are too overwhelmed by negative energies, you are too in that unbalanced state of mind. And in some of your cases, you may be trying too hard. And so that what's happening over here is, when you try too hard without that proper focus, you tend to overwork yourself unnecessarily. And if your energy and if your effort is kind of misdirected, if it's misguided, then you're going to miss the target. So that's what's happening with the six of stars coming out reversed. So that lack of success, lack of victory, is like you're doing, but then you're wondering what's happening. Why am I not getting the return, the dividend? So again, in November, there's a couple of key things. One is heal. Sit back and gauge the overall situation. Really look at the bigger picture. This applies particularly for those of you who have been really working hard, and while doing that, you may have lost the sight of your actual goal. And for others, who are kind of feeling overwhelmed so far, really that lack of balance, you need to really take it easy. Ask yourself whether, some pertinent questions, like whether you really want to spend the rest of your life remaining in the past memories, or feeling overwhelmed by all the negative energies, feeling stuck, or you want to really make a fresh start, right? You want to come out of that rut. You want to come out and you want to also get back to that life's path once again. You want to get back to to wherever you had left off, maybe before all this started going haywire. Right. So definitely take out some time to rest, go some places, maybe go for a short travel, spend some time in solitude, right? And then gather that strength gather the strength. And I also feel like in some of your cases, spending some quality time with your family members may also help, right? Maybe going to some sort of a retreat may also help. Going to some sort of a, some place that offers you some solitude, that offers you some sanctuary, away from all the trouble that may be brewing around you, so that you can really take a hard look at what you have been doing, how events have been progressing for you so far, and what you really need to do ahead to get back on the path and to make a fresh start, right? I think that's a very strong message for you, group number 2. It's really about introspection, a lot of introspection, a lot of self-assessment, a lot of healing, and that's what you really need to focus on in this month of November. And also, again, your choice of this crystal, this crystal is also called, is really a master healer. It's really about healing. It's absorbing all that negative energies and then releasing them. Releasing all that negative energy, regulating your mind, right? And just like this is a clear quartz. You need to also get that clear perception. You need to get back that clear perception about yourself, about your goals, about life, and whether you want to really remain stuck in that negative energy, where you have that lack of balance, lack of healing, lack of success, lack of energy. This is all lack. This top row is entirely lack. Or you want to get out of that. This hangman, that's why I said it's in a way good for you, because it talks about hangman coming out reversed. It's like, it's indicating that in the month of November, there's a possibility for you to come out of that rut and to make a fresh start. That's why, again, the hangman coming out reversed and the fool card over here is very powerful. It's very good for you. And also similarly, the 4 of stars. So things are all not lost for you. Things are all not closed for you, right? So definitely there is scope for you to make a turnaround, to reverse your fortune, to really empower yourself once more. But to be able to do that, you really need to, as I said before, first of all, take the time out, let yourself heal, let your mind heal, let your maybe past wounds heal, and in some cases it could be actual healing, because if you're overworked, which I certainly feel in some of your cases is true, if you're overworked, then take rest. Go for a retreat, go for a short journey, find out some place of solitude, spend some time in the garden, if you have a garden, a backyard garden or somewhere, take a walk out in nature. Just spend some time by yourself, with your family members, get a clarity, a vision, and then make a fresh start, leave the past behind. If it's something in your workplace, where you are stuck, then oftentimes what happens is when you are in the midst of something, when you are too involved with something, first of all, we lose the sight of the overall goal. And then when you are too enmeshed in doing something, you become too overtly engrossed in the process. Right? And you then lose the sight of the overall, the bigger picture. Right? So maybe that taking some rest, taking some days off, right? Introspection, meditation, is going to maybe open up the new perceptions once more for you. It's going to probably show you what you may have been doing wrong. It's going to probably help you come out of that phase and show new possibilities. In a way, your group also kind of resonates with the group 1. So you may also want to look at the group 1 readings. And some of you may have been also, I sense that you may have been toying with whether to select group 1 or group 2, because your messages are kind of similar. Right? So again, it's time for rest, time for getting clarity, balancing out your frazzled nerves, soul searching, introspection. At the same time, if you do all that, I do see new openings, you coming out of the quagmire, the rot, the stagnancy, and you eventually finding the way. So there is light at the end of tunnel. That's what I think the message is for the month of November. Though you may not be seeing that yet, but if you do your homework and if you do whatever tarot is telling you to do in the month of November, I certainly see that there is light at the end of tunnel, and you're going to see that. You're going to see that in November, right? And you're going to see what you have been doing wrong and what is the fresh start, what is the new beginning, how you can do things differently. You're going to see that, right? So that's all I have for you, group number 2. Hope this resonates with you, and again, hope this really paves the way for your coming, not only the coming month, but also the coming year. So I think with that, I'll take your leave. Bye. Hello, group 3, welcome to your monthly reading for the month of September. So for those of you who have chosen this Unakite, we'll see what's going on. Also, pardon me if you hear some loud background noises occasionally. There is some work going on in my house, and I have been telling this to each of the group. Hopefully that won't be too much of an hindrance. And but I just wanted to warn you, if in case suddenly sometimes you hear some background noise, please kindly bear with that. So group number 3, I feel like your group, this could be the group of writers or creative people. A lot of you who may have chosen this group, you may be suffering from some sort of creative block. So let's first let's see what comes out. Okay, we'll do the card reveal first. So we have the Magician, the up reversed, right? Impulse. We have the Ace of Stars, or the Ace of Wands in a typical tarot deck, reversed. We have the World reversed. We have the Judgment reversed. Wow. Okay. Then we have a Message in a Bottle. We have the Angel of Love reversed. We have Look to the Stars. The Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles reversed. And then finally we have the Five of Angels, or the Five of Sword in a traditional tarot deck, coming out upright. Okay. So the very first thing that that really catches my eye is that if you look at this, for example, over here the World card is number 21, it's 2 + 1 3. Right. Then you have the Message in a Bottle is 15, 5 + 1 6. Then you have this Angel of Love, it's 49. Not only there's a presence of 9 over there, but it's also a 9 + 4 13, so another 3. Then you have Look to the Stars 31, another 3. So there's too many 3s and 6 over here. Plus you have the World card. And then you also have the Magician card, the World card, and the Judgment card. 3 major arcana cards over here, and all of them coming out reversed. So you are really going through some bottleneck. You are really going through, and I think what comes out over here, group number 3, very strongly is that lack of vision, that lack of inspiration. And so that's why I said at the very beginning, even before turning those cards, just by looking at the spread numerologically, and then looking at the overall spread, how they have come up, a lot of you could be associated, with some creative professions. You could be writers, you could be composers, you could be artists. You could be, some creative profession, or some fields that require communication, creation, imagination, some sort of that vision, right? And the overall thing that's coming out is like, it's a writer's block. Right? It's like, you are scrambling, you are really tearing your head or tearing your hairs, to come out of that block. You have been, but that you're in that certain space of mind where no matter how hard you are trying, there is that overall lack of inspiration, that lack of ideas, lack of that creative urge that is really, really holding you back, right? Now, it also could be that there is some sort of mental conflict, there's some sort of mental turmoil that's subduing your creative impulse, that's subduing your, or that's, subduing, that artistic flair. So, for example, if you are a writer, just to give an example, and this can certainly vary depending on your particular case, but just to give an example, if you are a writer and there's too many things going around you, and suddenly you find yourself in a situation or in a place where things are going all haywire, there's too much of commotion, there's too much of conflict, and there's too much of these negativities, and that's really bothering you, that's really affecting your talent, that's really affecting your thought process, that's really not letting you find any creative inspiration out of that place, out of that situation. So what you really need at this point, is, and especially, I'm just awestruck at the way these three cards have come out: the Magician, the Judgment, and the Judgment over here, and the World. Especially the World card, it talks about creativity too. It talks about being able to have an overall grasp on things, right? So that's why the picture that comes out is of someone who is scrambling, who's like trying out different things, who may be trying to come out of this with desperation. But again, it could be either your lack of inspiration, lack of the creative impulse. It could be your own indecision, your own lack of clarity. And again, this Five of Angels or the Five of Sword card certainly talks about that. Some conflict that involves you, or that some conflict situation that may be going around you, that's letting you, that's not really opening up your third eye, that's, or that eye of vision. And again, your choice of Unakite crystal certainly emphasizes that message, right? This really talks about that third eye. And in your case, it is not some mythical third eye. It's really about that eye of vision, that eye of clarity, that eye of, that also behind impulse, that also behind creation, that also behind any sort of creative pursuit, any sort of things that requires that sudden urge, creative urge, or the sudden spark of energy, right? So that's what's happening in your life. Also, this could be, in some of your cases, it could be also the fact that prior to this, you may have taken certain false steps and things didn't really work out, and now you are like shy of doing anything because you have already had your hands burnt, and so now you are you're kind of withdrawn. You're kind of withdrawn into your shell, and you are scared to step out and do something different. But what I feel over here is in the month of November is there will be, and especially this applies for mainly those people who are creative amongst you, is that you will get that sudden flash of vision, right? You will get that sudden impulse, right? Especially when I see this message in a bottle, and you have the look to the stars. Right? It's like so. There's a couple of things. One is in some of your cases, there is a strong possibility that, and this is how the ideas come up. You get a sudden spark of idea. You get in a sudden moment of brilliance. You get that sudden spark of idea, a sudden light bulb moment, right? And that is the way of universe really reaching out to you, and the universe really, your brain really getting that download from the universe, that dump. And that's what you have been waiting for, and I believe in November, you will get that. But for that to happen, right, what you really need to do is really need to work on your overall setup, right? Your overall state of mind. I think what's happening in your case is because there's something that is within your mind, your thought process, your surroundings, you being tied up, too much with these negative energies, that's preventing you from getting that dump from the universe, the download from the universe. So you have to really work on that to make yourself receptive. And again, there is a strong possibility over here that you are going to get that. But the message for you is be open. Now I know sometimes it is not so easy, right? Sometimes it is easier said than done. When you find yourself in a situation that's not helping you, that's really not working in your favor. I think in those kind of situations, group number 3, what you really need to do is set some boundaries around you, right? Maybe go for a short travel, maybe take yourself out of that situation. I also see this November will be all about your transformation. Maybe you are going to come out of this situation a transformed person with more greater clarity, more greater vision. Not only getting your spirit back, getting your impulse, that creative urge back, but also in general. This is like because when I look at the World card and the Judgment card and the Magician card again. These 3 arcana cards, major arcana cards, all coming out. So out of the four tarot cards over here, you have 3 major arcana cards. It's like talking about whatever you are going through right now, and once you come out of this is going to also transform your life as a whole. It's not about just finding that one sudden impulse. It's not about that finding that one sudden inspiration that's going to really bring you out of the situation. It's whatever it is, it's going to also play a large role in shaping your future to a large extent, right? So in that way, I see like this card is also of a transformation. For example, if you look at this card, it's like this angel, right? This angel is going through this suffering, this fire, right? Now, why is the angel having to go through the suffering? Because she's an angel after all, right? But remember, this is what's so ironical about this world, because in this world, the good people, people who may have nothing to do with anything, who may not have harmed anyone in any way, they are the one who go through a lot of sufferings. And that suffering is not intentional. It is meant to really transform you. It is meant to really purify you. And remember, whether you talk of steel or gold, in the process of making steel from iron, in the process of making gold, it has to be burned. It has to go through that purification process, right? So this whatever you are going through, it may have a larger context in your overall life, right? So it may be really a transformation phase. And so I think once you can come out of this, once you get whatever vision you can get at this point, whatever inspiration you get at this point, right? You will really pave your life for some years to come. Will really fashion your life in such a way that's going to have a deep impact for certain years to come. That's why it's very important that in November you take the time out, you spend some time in solitude, some relaxation, and open your mind in such a way, set some boundaries so that you get that universal message, you get that inspiration, you get that creative flair back. Right? And I also feel like, if once you get across November, once you work on that, and once you get the creative flair back, once you get that one sudden urge, and it could be, for example, in some of your cases that, with that one sudden inspiration, one sudden spark of idea, that brilliant idea, right? You will do something, or you're going to start being on a path, you're going to start setting up something, some venture, or that's going to yield a lot of dividends in the coming days. In the coming days. So maybe this November is, or whatever the prior to November, is really a gestation period. What do I mean by gestation period? For example, if you are in the process of creating something, for example, if you are trying to set up your own, your small venture, if you're an entrepreneur, right, and you're trying to create something from ground upwards, then there is a lot of hard work, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of sleepless nights, where oftentimes, you will pass through a phase where you feel like the world is closing around you. There's no way forward, right? People are not getting your vision. Things are not moving forward for you. There's no way forward. But then out of nothing, suddenly something happens, right? Suddenly some tunnel, some door opens up. Some ideas show up, right? Someone comes forward, with some fund money, some seed money. This is the message also I get from this spread. And then once you get that, right, that really sets you forward, and after that there is no turning back. I think that is that phase in November and maybe in October. That is the phase you are going through. That lacks, finding yourself in a position where there's suddenly that lack of vision, lack of ideas, lack of clarity. Things are not apparently moving. You're feeling yourself very frustrated, very depressed. You don't know how to go forward. You may be feeling like things are closing around you. The world is closing around you. But then suddenly something happens. Suddenly a brilliance. Suddenly some idea. Suddenly someone coming forward with some helping hand, right? And then things start taking shape. So that's why I keep coming back to this card. It's like a transformation, right? It's burning you, it's purifying you such that you emerge from this much stronger. And once this bird takes flight, this angel takes flight, after that, there may not be any stopping her. So having said that, I'm going to leave this reading for now, and hope this resonated with you, and hope this helps. Hope you get that vision, the impulse, the sudden download from the universe that really sets you forward on your onward journey. Best of luck, group number 3, and bye. Hey, group 4, welcome to your monthly reading for the month of November. So we'll see how things are going to turn up for you in the month of November. So you have chosen this very cute looking Dalmatian jasper stone. Yeah, let's begin. One word of caution, just a warning that I have been telling this to all the group, is because there's some work going on in my house today, so you may occasionally hear some background noise. Hope that is not too much of a trouble, that's not going to be too much of a hindrance. But if you notice something like that, please kindly bear with this. So group number 4, I guess this particular group could have some leaders, maybe team leads, group leads, or some other leaders. It could also be, some household family heads, right? Somehow this group, and when I look at this stone, this thought just came to my mind. I think, the universe just channelized this thought in my mind. You see these black spots, right, over this stone? right? This black polka dots, this black polka dots, this, on this overall white background, this makes it look so unique. It makes it look so appealing, right? And so this white background, this is kind of holding all these black spots together, right? It's providing the canvas where these black spots, all these different myriads of black spots, they are like coming together and to create an overall grander picture. I feel this is your story, group number 4. At least for the month of November and going forward, this is your story. So you are the kind of the white background, right? And you are being asked to, to provide that canvas or be the bonding agent, be the, the unifying agent for these black spots, right? Now, how so, you may be wondering, right? Now, if you look at this reading, there is, so for example, suppose, you are the leader of a team and you people are working on a project, right? There is some bright idea where, you people are trying to manifest something, you people are trying to give shape to something big, something wonderful. Now, as a leader of a team, you need to be, obviously, you are being asked to be considerate. You are being asked to be gentle, kind, considerate. So an ideal leader is someone who can work with the team, who can listen to everyone, who can be receptive to everyone's ideas. Obviously, the leader is expected to make the final decision, but then you shouldn't have that closed attitude. So if you look at this 8 of Swords, and directly below that, you have the 8 of Wands. What's interesting is that 8 of Swords is coming out straight and the 8 of Wands coming out reversed. Right? Now, when I look at these two cards, the 8 of Swords, when you look at this picture, and there are some other cards which I'm going to go over a little later, it looks like at this moment, as you are heading into November, for different reasons, which I would rather not go into at this moment because that is probably beyond the scope of this reading. Whatever the reason may be, it looks like you people are you are finding yourself in a position where you are closing off yourself. There's some disconnect. There is some disconnect between you and your team. There is some disconnect between you and the rest of your colleagues. There could be some disconnect between you and your other family members. Right? And so you are finding yourself isolated. You are finding yourself surrounded. You are finding, you are feeling like whoever is around you, whoever, your team members, your colleagues, your family members, you are finding them to be a hindrance to your work, to your existence, if I say so. But whereas the message over here is whatever you are trying to do, it cannot be completed, or at least it cannot be completed successfully unless you learn to work and to work with others, to take others along the journey. Because there's some beautiful messages over here, right? And it's all, this is what I love about tarot. Tarot has its own way of really emphasizing a message, a particular message in very subtle ways. So if you look at obviously I've talked about the 8 of Swords, and especially in 8 of Swords, it looks like this is you, and these crows around, they are like bugging you. They are being they are like torturing you. And these crows, I feel like this may be the vision that you have of your colleagues, of your team members, of your family members. It's like they are irritating you. They are being nuisance to you. They are the ones who's not letting you fully manifest your idea, fully manifest your project, fully manifest your goal. But on the contrary, the message over here is you cannot be an hermit. You cannot achieve whatever you have set out to achieve. You cannot progress on your life path further if you treat yourself as an hermit. That's why this card has come out reversed. So you have to come out. You have to accept others. You have to work with others. You have to really be that King of Cup. a kind, gentle, considerate soul who knows how to work with others, who knows how to listen to others, listen to their grievances, listen to their ideas, listen to their viewpoints, right? And then make a decision. Also, these three cards, especially this one, and this one and the Eight of Wands, which I previously mentioned, right? These two are really beautiful cards, and I don't know why they really are speaking to me in a different ways, right? For example, if you look at the Five of Star, so which is really the Five of Wand, right? On a more superficial level, this really talks about some sort of a conflict, right? It's like, that apparent conflict that I've already talked about with regard to this Eight of Swords card, right? Where, you are feeling that there's a disconnect between you and the others. You're feeling like others are not seeing eye to eye with you. They are not in the same frequency. They don't share your viewpoint, your worldview, right? That's why, there is an apparent conflict within you. There may be some actual conflict between you and the others, right? There may be an internal conflict. That's what this card also suggests, the goddess of the moon that has come out reversed. It's really about your own inner conflict, your own inner disconnect, right, with the reality, with your team members. But also look at the other thing that really comes out, right? If you look at this card, there is multiple stars, and in the background there is this what looks like a sun or what looks like a moon, right? So there's this one brighter vision that's waiting in the background, but to achieve that overall vision, you have to take the help of these multiple smaller stars, and these multiple smaller stars these are these different voices in your family, or maybe these are different voices in your team, right? These are different voices in your workplace. If it's something grand that you are trying to achieve, right? Now to get to that vision, you cannot ignore the smaller stars. And similarly over here, it's like, the moment I looked at this card, the first thought that came to my mind it's like multiple matchsticks, right? Or multiple, whatever it is, you may want to call multiple torch lights, creating that greater, bigger, grander firework, right? That's what this exactly looks like. Then you also have the co-create card. It very clearly talks about creating something together, co-create. So the strong message for you, this particular group is, you cannot work in isolation. Similarly, the family card coming out reversed. Again, you are not walking with your family. You are not walking with others. You are trying to separate yourself. You are trying to, maybe, you have that feeling that others are not worth listening to. Maybe you have a feeling that others are unnecessary nuisance, which I've already mentioned over here. Maybe you have a feeling that others are causing hindrance more than being of any actual help. But that is not true. That's what Tarot is telling you. I think that is your inner disconnect. That is your own inner thought process, which you need to rectify. Right? So you really need to become like the King of Hearts or the King of Cups. And that's what makes a great leader. That's what makes a great head of the family. So whether it's in family, whether it's in workplace, whether in every other aspect of life, if you want to be a good leader in the workplace, if you want to be a good leader in the family, if you want to be a good leader even in politics, whatever field, right? You have to really lead by example. You have to really be considerate of others. You have to really develop that listening skills, listen to others, get their ideas, right? Assimilate all the thoughts, and then select the overall picture that best serves your project, that best serves your family, whatever it is. But to close doors, right? To maintain that hermit in mode, or to treat others' association, to treat others' viewpoint as nuisance, total nuisance, right? That is not ideal, and that's going to cause some hindrance in your overall goal, right? And so I think that is the biggest message over here that I'm really getting. Also, I feel like since I see these two number 8s, one below the other, number 8 really talks about doing some action, right, or trying to get something done. You're in midst of some action, or you're trying to get really some mastery over something. You're really trying to accomplish something. Again, the magician card is over here. So you're really in the process of accomplishing something. You're really in the process of maybe putting some finishing touch on something. You're really in the process of maybe achieving something good, something great. But you cannot go there. You cannot walk that path alone with that mental disconnect, treating others like this. You have to adopt a considerate viewpoint. You have to open yourself up. Right? You have to really be a leader by action, and then you will really do greater and grander things. Right. So clearly, this is overall a very positive reading, because you have the King of Cups upright, you have the Magician upright, right? You also have the these beautiful cards over here. But it's all about you really doing that requisite course correction, a correction of your approach, coming out of that hermit mode, offsetting that mental discord, right? And I think then you will achieve that success in a much grander way, and taking with others together with you. And remember, joy really manifests more when you can share that joy with others. When you are really part of a team where everyone appreciates you, where everyone looks up to you, and now that is only possible where you also in return learn to interact with others in a more humble, in a more kind, considerate way. So I hope this resonates with you, group number 4, because somehow this is the very strong message that I got from this for this particular group. And having said that, I think I'm going to end this reading right here. Hope this has resonated with you, and I will see you in another video in the future. Bye.